Let's see here. Sorry, everyone. I was coming in a little bit late here. I was not home and heard about this. Yeah. Holy crap. Phew. Just gonna go in here and we are going to go take a look at a couple of the. In case you don't know, earlier tonight, a couple hours ago, it looks like a military aircraft, a Black Hawk helicopter, collided. Sorry, I'm checking settings because I just decided to come in here. So hopefully everything's working. I may have to turn my phone on to make sure everything's playing because this was just a quick, holy crap. I just got home and it's like, man, I don't have my lights up, nothing. Sorry, I'm going to have to look at this just to see if I am playing right because I did nothing. I just kind of hopped on.
This is a moment like...
Oh, that's wrong. What the heck is this thing doing? Okay, grief. It's not going. Okay, so now it's not going to find me. Of course it isn't. Oh, you suck. Okay. So I am unsure if I'm even putting sound out right now because I've been having some issues with YouTube doesn't want to connect to my streaming software. So I am sorry about this, but you know what? I do not have people doing stuff for me. This is what I have to do. So I'm going to mute this as much as possible. Come on. Let's see if I can just get to my channel. Oh, Lord loves a duck. View channel. There we go. Okay. So now it shows I'm live. But I'm not putting out sound, am I? Oh, I am. All right. So now I'm going to try this because I have been up El Crico with this connecting. So if this does not have sound, we will go from there. So, yeah. But I am over on Fox 5 DC. And there we go. Hey, Jim Patterson. Hey, give me a thumbs up if you can hear that guy talking. Because I just got home and had to jump on quick, and it's like, wow, I'm not even sure my settings are right. Hey, Jim. I don't know if you heard, bud. Let me hit a quit mute. Well, I don't want to mute. A military Black Hawk helicopter collided with a passenger jet coming into land in Washington, D.C. So I just thought I'd come on here. I'm trying to look up information. I'm on Fox 5 Washington, and I got CNN up. My Fox feed is acting funny, even though it's working fine on my TV. So I don't know what's going on there. So let me know if you've got top messages. Why is it giving me that? Oh. So yeah, let me know if you got sound on this at all. I don't know if you can. I'm trying to get this pulled up. And I'm watching the chat on my phone because I didn't have time to set up screens or nothing. And for some reason my chat viewer doesn't want to work on this other one. Oh, good grief. Stop doing that. There we go. I don't know why it keeps doing that. So I don't know if the sound is up. Here, I'm going to hit play on my phone and see if I can hear what is going on. Sorry, this is what I got to do. So I'm trying to see if it's showing it. I like how when I go over here, it doesn't show that. So I got it. Yeah, why it does that. I don't hear it, so I'm going to hit unmute.
He's a little more southern, right? He's south of Gravelly Point.
Hang on.
And and they
Okay,
they,
it is.
they had to come see for
All
themselves.
right, it's
And they
playing.
can't believe.
Sorry, man. I'll remute and it should be going. Sorry, this is why I was in a hurry. Jim, let me know if everything's working okay for you. You'll probably be the only one here. It seems like my channel, YouTube, is still mad at me from the whole. Yeah, they're mad at me from the whole Trump thing. All right, there we go. Okay. You can't hear the clip? Even though it's running right now? Huh. Yes, I can hear it in my headphones. And I got it up and running.
So that is from the
I'll hit
AP. We
unmute
depend
on
the
this, but I don't
AP
know if
for a lot
that'll
of the
do
information
anything
coming
for
down
you.
here. And again, because this operation is taking
But no,
so long,
YouTube is still angry
you
at
know,
me
you hope for
from
the best.
the Trump
plan
thing,
for the worst, and
honestly,
unfortunately,
because I've already
that
had some
seems to be
issues
what
where I had to talk
we're
to
going hear at
YouTube,
some
and
point.
yeah.
This, what you're looking at, is inside one of the terminals at
But
Reagan
for
Airport.
anybody who doesn't
Everybody's
know, I
getting-
mean, man,
getting
we
into
are just
place.
here to
We will take
all
that live as soon as it
man.
happens.
Yeah,
Not a good
and,
night for
and right
everybody.
now, we are waiting to find out just
The
exactly.
passenger jet looks like it had
if there was any kind
64
of rescues
people,
that were
between
made.
60 and
You
64,
know,
depending
we're
on your
getting conflicting
source.
reports.
And the
But
military
still, at this
aircraft
point,
had
no
3.
confirmation that anyone or anything
And
has
it was a
been
training
hurt
exercise,
from
which
the
doesn't
water.
mean it was
We
inexperienced
do know
people,
that
but
there are family members
air
that
traffic
are
control,
also
I don't know if air traffic control got confused, but they,
waiting patiently.
I don't know, these
Waiting
guys
with a
were
lot of hope,
seemingly
to
too
get
close.
Good news or a good update.
So I don't
We
know.
heard from the CEO of American
Okay, so I have to
Airlines, who
unmute for you guys, even
really
if I can
couldn't
hear it
give
here,
us
or even
too
if it's
much
on my
detail,
phone,
but
I could
said
hear
that
it.
their priority right
Okay.
now is to
So
do
the
everything
settings on
that
my
they
software, and
can do,
YouTube is having
for
issues with my
these
software.
passengers and for the
But this is Fox 5. Then I've got CNN. I got Fox in the back. Oh, no, no, no. You were letting me do fine. Come on. Oh, they're being jerks now. Turds. Well, I'll go to Fox 5.
Meanwhile,
I can go to
we have
local
made
Fox
note that
channels
not a
and
whole lot
the local TV
has
channels,
changed
too.
as far
No.
as the level of response. And
Jeez.
Well, while we're waiting to hear from this briefing, Abadi Ismail is
Yeah,
joining
we're
us
waiting
now.
for the
He's live on
NTSB
Zoom.
briefing,
Where
but
you
dang,
are,
man.
You live somewhere
This
where
is
you
uncool.
saw,
I went to a live.
really
Like I said, I
this
got
happen, and
Fox
I
News
just
channel in
wanna
the
get your
back, but I
take
can't
as
get
to
it.
what
Won't
you
play
saw
over here for
earlier
some
this evening.
reason.
And by the where are you at, Abadi?
I am at
Oh,
Buzzard
man.
Point, where the
I-
right there.
I was kind of.
by James Creek Marina. I have an advantage view.
I'm not gonna do much here. I just thought I'd stop in. Plus, I'm trying to see what all
and
will
across
connect
the
and work. But
Reagan Airport, the military
dude,
base.
I mean,
have cinematic view.
I'll just
So
say
I
all
can see
hopes and
everything
prayers
that's
go out
happening
to the family,
from the moment the
anybody
crash
who's
happened,
on the
because I was in
aircraft,
my-
and honestly, even to the air
I was sitting
traffic
there watching
controllers,
TV
because
when
man,
the
there's gonna be
crash
some
happened.
questions asked here.
It was a bang, bang,
Because
very loud bang, bang.
it
Something
does
I'm
sound
not
like the air
familiar
traffic
with,
control from the
something you
tapes
don't normally
released
hear. So I came
contacted
into the
the
window to take a look,
Black
and
Hawk
that's when it
helicopter
starts to
twice,
flow
but they
from
never
the
got a
south side
response.
of the airport.
And the second time was almost too late. It was within seconds, just bang right into the air, right into him. And okay, admittedly, I'm not a pilot, but I want to ask a question here real quick. I'm gonna turn him down till we get to. I'm waiting for the briefing, but I'm gonna turn him down. But I have a question because I've seen helicopters. I've been in one, and usually the visibility out of a helicopter is decent compared to a pilot in a jet. And it looks like from the footage that this helicopter hit the jet towards the rear, on the rear end of it. Well, as jets do come in fast, even though they got their flaps full and trying to land, so they're not at full speed or anything. But man, it does look like maybe the helicopter almost should have seen them. But I don't want to besmirch somebody. This could be just a freak accident. Jim Patterson, DEI. I don't know, man. All I know is it is some freaky stuff, and I'm not a happy camper. Let me go over here. I can't call my chat viewer, and I don't know why it goes black screen when I go to in this screen here. It blacks the video for you guys, which once again, they are doing goofy stuff between my streaming software and YouTube. Jim, I hope it's not DEI. I really hope not. I mean, that would just be horrible.
the crash scene, I see how
Yeah, I got my lights awful dim. I just ran down here and turned some stuff on. I can bring this up. Will it help any? Hey, look at that.
It's inevitable.
Right.
So
I don't know, Jim. I really hope not, bud. I don't even, my chat viewer won't even come up on here because I didn't sign in on the right account. And I can't do it while I'm streaming, so I'm using my phone for my chat. Professional, huh?
When you talk about the air temperature,
Now, see, I have multiple accounts, and you got to sign the chat viewer in per. Because I'm pretty sure it won't come up right now. I can try, but let's see here. Chat viewer, I'll bring it up. And I will try to refresh, but I know it's going to tell me. It's going to tell me that, dude, you are not signed in on that account, and you can't do it while it's going. Come on, baby. Go. Yeah, see, it's not connecting and won't connect.
Have a different view. Does it look like there are fewer boats in the water?
Come on, sign in.
fewer boats, 100%.
Yeah.
Oh, just sign in.
All of them are stationed.
I won't sign in. It wants me to go over to my other account, and I can't do it, so okay. I will just do it through my phone for now. And like I said, in a hurry. I think it's an accident. Nobody doing a suicide mission. No, I don't think that, Jim. No, I do not think this is some type of act of, suicidal, crazy person or somebody on the wrong meds. Or it really seems like an accident or some negligence. Like you said, DEI. I hope not. I really don't. Sorry, I gotta keep my pointer down here, or that goes black. So weird. That is so weird.
and I realize.
But I will push myself up here in the corner and shrink me. And then I will just pull it up larger when I go over to that page. How's that? But no, I agree. It's an accident, 100%. I haven't seen anything yet to make me think it was anything else. There we go. Sorry, the picture's a little off because once again, I'm just streaming through their local. So I'm taking whatever they got. So. This is so ungood. Yeah, and I've been trying to keep up on the way home and watching feeds on my phone and trying to. I'm just waiting for the NTSB briefing. I mean, I can always go look for other channels, but I might as well stick with the locals. They're going to get the same briefing and everything else right now since CNN's being jerks and Fox didn't want to stream over here for some reason. I mean, I could use third-party software or fifth-party software. I can do that. I mean, I'm sure Pluto's got something going, too, if I really wanted to. But, yeah. Hey, I noticed it blinked my camera out when I did that. That's kind of cool. I mean, who wants to talk to me anyway, right? Hey, there I am. Man. I will say, I don't know how much you've been watching, Jim. Oh, no, Jim, it was midair. In fact, if you go look, you should be able to find the video now. I don't want to try it. I'm sorry. I normally would, but I don't have. I just ran home and I didn't do anything. So I'm not sure I want to mess with my setup here, but I can try to find it. But yes, if you can find the footage, I think. Fox isn't playing it now either. But if you go look, you can find the footage. It's everywhere. Yeah, it shows the jet coming in for landing. It's from a distance. But it shows jet coming in from a landing, and the helicopter just looks like he flies almost right into him. And he's just coming straight. And when they played the air traffic controller, he asked once, can you see this plane? Fly behind. And then nothing, and he's like, hey, can you see this plane? Fly behind, and right into him. So it looks like something got miscommunicated, something got not done right, somebody didn't, communicate properly. My phone. No, it definitely midair though, and it was right over about the middle of the Potomac, and they crashed into the Potomac. And so far, it doesn't look like anybody. Made it. Sorry, I'm gonna minimize this and go move my camera off there. Get myself off that video clip a little more. I will get me a little more. I don't know where to put me, honestly.
And we'll have whatever
I'll just
updates
go
that
over
come
here
in
and
for you.
hide
But
right
again,
about
very fluid situation.
here.
We've been moving around.
But yeah, I don't know what else to say, and this is just unfortunately bad.
And now we're here.
There,
where
now
this,
I can pull it
presser
back, and I should
is
be.
getting ready to,
Well, now I'm right over her.
the information you've been
Oh, I'm
asking,
doing this
the
so
numbers,
badly.
the
I
rescue.
apologize, anybody. I'm not trying to make
And the one
fun. This is
question that
just.
I have is when we were at
Well,
ground
sometimes when you
zero,
want
those
something to
boats
work
go
and
in
it
they
doesn't
left,
work
you know,
for
so,
you.
like, why were those boats pulled out?
There
Were
you
they too
go.
far?
That's to get
Was
being in
the
a hurry,
rescue taking
mister.
place somewhere else? So, many questions.
I mean, I don't
We're hearing a little
know
bit
what I'm
more
going to add to this. I just,
unconfirmed
jeez.
reports. So there's
Yeah,
so
Jim,
many
if you go
questions.
look, though, you should be able to
Don't
find
forget
it.
the question you asked me to figure out what time this airport will
Yeah,
reopen, whether it's
everything looks like, even it's very grainy. It looks like somebody with webcam, I think they said. But it's zoom. If you look really close, yeah, it looks like it rams right in the rear, and that's kind of what the statement they released has been saying.
Yeah, and
As
I
he
hope
hit
we
the
got
rear
that.
of the
That's why we had
plane,
briefing. We'll
and just a
get those
boom
answers.
explosion.
But, thank you very much. We appreciate you.
And
coming on.
unfortunately, this happened, what, now about 3.5, 4 hours ago? And the cold water temperature is only 35 degrees, so even if somebody was
We
alive,
were told that the briefing would be at 12:30. Obviously, they want
You
to make
know,
sure that everybody is.
even if somebody was alive, you're in the water that long, you're kind of,
before
unfortunately,
they start
probably
addressing the
not
media on this.
anymore.
One official we did hear from, though, was the
I-
was Robert Ism, who is the American Airlines CEO.
Trying to listen here.
And
Update.
he said in a video that he released that they would like to express their deep sorrow about the events of this crash. It's a difficult day for all of
Okay.
them. Their efforts are focused now on the needs of the passengers.
There we go, turn it up a
their
little.
crew members, their
I'm just
partners,
waiting for the
first responders, and
NTSB.
families and
I
loved
really want to
ones.
see that, and I don't know, like I said, I'm just,
And then he offered.
oh, I was upset, and geez, I would say the plane had the helicopter can maneuver quickly while plane. You know, no, the plane definitely, okay, yes, Jim, no, Jim, you are 100% right, bud. They already said the plane has the right of way, 100%. Because the plane coming in, like you said, can't maneuver as much, and the plane was given the okay to land on that runway. They were given the airspace, so the airspace is open, because originally they were going to come on another runway. Then they said, can you switch to 3-3 and land on the shorter runway? And the pilot said, yeah, we can do that, no problem. So then they said, okay, land on 3-3, the airspace is clear, it's yours. So that plane was set up for that airspace. That was his.
The numbers.
And somebody didn't get that helicopter moved out of there, or the helicopter, like I said, if you hear the tapes, the helicopter did not respond to the first warning from the air traffic controller or the second. So I don't know, but you know, you're right, the plane definitely had the right of way, 100%. And that's already been stated, so yeah, when they're flaps, when they're running up the engines, tilting the nose up, got the flaps full, bringing that at speed down close to stall to land, yeah, they probably couldn't even see the helicopters. You got your nose way up. They're going by instruments and going by what's the air traffic controllers are telling them. And when they were given the okay to go into that airspace and land,
again at this hour. Only so much.
Ungood.
So much we can say, guys, and you know,
I don't know.
I know we were talking about this earlier.
It's just. I am.
Back in
Ugh.
into the conversation.
Sorry, I'm just trying to.
Metro had diverted. Or they
Trying
were
to share
running
a
extra
little bit
Silver Line
here.
service because there were reports that people might be diverted.
I know that sounds
You
kinda
were running
petty.
Down, some of the things from
Everything we
FlightAware,
do does these
Kenneth,
days.
and it does look like there were some diversions.
There were diversions,
Yeah.
and several into Dulles. There were flights to Nashville, Denver, Minneapolis, Orlando that
So,
were
yeah.
originating from those cities.
I don't know, man.
Reagan National.
Sorry,
it all
like I
landed
said,
at
I
9
keep
p.m.
apologizing to everybody, but I just
So
got
the
home.
crash happened around 8:30, just before 9 or so, before this flight was supposed to land at DCA. Those
So,
other
yeah.
flights were en route and bound, and they were diverted.
Holy
shortly,
mother.
After this mass casualty event was declared.
Bring the chat
and they
back
were
up so I can
diverted
see it, since I didn't have
Dulles.
time
Many
to
of
do
them
that.
diverted to Dulles. There were a couple that I saw, according to flight.com, that were diverted to BWI that were coming from Atlanta and Houston. These were Southwest.
Yeah, they did.
flights as well.
I will
So
say this: the
is
reactions have been
something that
amazing by everybody involved,
some type of incident,
because it looks like as it happened, it sounds like every air traffic control up there just got all the planes diverted that were in the air, told everybody on the runways to just taxi back to the terminals. They got emergency crews were there like really fast. And you can look at all that going on, and even my background, they got some choppers going up.
And then obviously
let me see,
those
take a
who
look
were
here.
on, the passengers who were on those flights had to get in touch with their
That's the
family
search
members
crews on the
whoever
TV
was,
behind me,
possibly going to pick them up at, Reagan
who
to
are
say, now I'm at
hoping to
Dallas,
find
now
somebody,
I'm
but
at,
I'm
BWI. And
between
obviously,
the
what
current,
they learned,
the
this
400
is
feet. I guess they were at 400 feet when the crash happened. The fall, the impact, the fireball. Unfortunately, I'm gonna say
because at this moment,
I don't know what to do anymore. I don't know.
Flown in and out of Reagan, you could say that could have been. And so that's very sobering.
Oh, Jim, you are sometimes an evil man. Yeah, I don't know, man.
In the 9 o'clock hour, but many of them again.
I don't know. I just know that it's unfortunate that we are looking at probably the loss of between 63 and 67 lives. I mean, I really hope there's nothing else to this. I'm hoping we get this briefing and they've cleared anything. It's just a random bad accident, and it does happen. I mean, my God, as much as they fly stuff to and from in this area, and such the airport is kind of right in the middle of town, so that's why the buildings are only allowed to be a certain height and everything else. So I don't know, Jim, but Jim, dang, man, a little macabre, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But I will say this.
I mean, it's a very useful tool.
I'm not trying to talk him up because I like Trump. I'm just saying, boy, his people were Johnny on the friggin' spot. You heard from Kristi Noem right away, the guy that just got sworn in as the new NTSB head. He was right there, making statements. He was already down on the ground right away. I mean, God, he just got sworn in. Was it last night, today? That's a horrible way to have your job start, man. And I will say I'm very glad. So far, it seems like the people Trump put in are on it, just as much as he is on the job. So let's get this taken care of in the best way possible. And they've already said Trump has been briefed, and the Pentagon is tracking all this because that was one of their, military aircraft involved. So I'm very happy to see what everybody is doing so rapidly.
When it comes to those first responders,
oh, okay. Well, that's great, Jim. Since you're, feel free to share the stream out, bud. Like I said, YouTube has really not been doing me any favors, and I was able to do a little chat, and I kind of get something was said where it seems like they remember me from back during the first Trump administration, and they seem to be holding a little bit of a grudge, but we'll see. I'm hoping no. But yeah, Jim, they were talking about
the airplane was on a perfect and routine line of
Oh,
approach to the airport.
talk about the plane.
Helicopter was going
Or
straight
Trump.
at the airplane for an extended period of time. It's a clear night. The lights on the plane were blazing. Why didn't the helicopter go up or down or turn? Why didn't the control tower tell the helicopter what to do instead of asking if they saw the plane? This is a bad
did.
situation.
They told him to
Looks
go
like it should have
behind.
been prevented, not
But they should have
good.
told him to turn off.
We're certainly, it is a terrible situation, no doubt, and we're hoping to get some answers.
I don't think
some
Donald Trump knows
preliminary
everything. If that was an actual
answers,
statement
when
from
we check in
Donald
with,
Trump,
with the
because
briefing coming up.
they had
Just
played
with the fact
tapes.
that, as mentioned before,
They
this is
did
the
communicate with the
first
helicopter
down
twice,
he was sworn in today.
but I personally think they should have told him to go somewhere else, veer off. Do not come across this airspace at all. But they asked the helicopter, there's recordings of they asked the helicopter, hey, do you see jet, blah, 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 blah. Do you see this jet? And then the second one was, hey, do you see this jet? Go behind them. I personally, I'm not an air traffic controller. I do know somebody that used to be an air traffic control boss, though. But too bad he is an older man who's probably in bed right now or sitting in his living room and would not like me to call. But I think maybe they should have veered them off, not had them go across an airspace where a plane is landing at all.
And you mentioned
At all. Just no.
Cruise as well, yeah.
Yeah, don't,
Yeah, so
to
they'll
me,
be getting their
not
reports
knowing
off
the
in
job,
morning, but, yeah, you
I would
talked
have been,
about,
dude, can you
about Secretary
maybe
Duffy,
just veer off?
wow, yeah.
Wait a minute. You're a
And,
helicopter. You can
he was
stop.
there right in the beginning. He said,
Hit the
I'm
brakes,
not
Mr.
at
Helicopter,
the
and
Houston.
sit there.
Their,
I mean,
since this started. So,
that's just me.
hopefully
I
they'll
think,
be able to shed more
Mr.
light on
Helicopter,
this and more
stop,
importantly,
pause, hover.
be
Do
able
not
to
go into
send
that airspace. Let that
families
jet go
some
by.
answers. I mean, that's what we're all
But I
waiting
don't
for.
like how the
This
jet
is,
didn't
you know,
answer
unconfirmed
back.
reports. You know, we
And
are
if you
getting
find the
text
video
messages
clip,
saying this
Jim,
is where we
it
met, people were
is,
coming home.
yeah,
And now, you know, we are
it
starting
does
to
look
get
like a
messages
straight
that
line, but
people
that's
need
how they
to
fly,
their
so.
families were there, and,
I'm a little shocked they didn't
it's gonna
see
be a
them
very,
since the
very
jet
difficult night. And
coming in had its lights on. They show that the video clip shows it. That's how you can see it from a distance. You see the helicopter's lights, you can see the jet's lights. And those landing lights are fudging bright. So I don't know why they weren't able to see each other. So I'm just looking behind. Yeah, Fox. I'm on a Fox local channel. I don't think any other channel is showing me different. I was on CNN a little bit ago on my phone. I checked ABC News. So I would even check BBC News. VPN. I checked BBC, and they are the ones that say there were 64 people on board. Our news was saying 60.
Taking photos. One woman was praying that I saw, concerned about the 64 people who were on that plane. A lot of
I do guess I heard a blurb on, I think it was either CNN or ABC, that they played the audio from a jet that was on the tarmac or it was in the air at the time and landed. But they were saying, asking them to stay at the terminal. That somebody on the jet air a radio back to the tower saying, we saw it all happen. We were going to the back to the terminal. So I think they were on the ground, getting ready to take off themselves, and saw it. And the air traffic control said, asked them to, for everybody to wait there because they're going to have to take statements then.
Bring you this live television. There are people on the bus over there waiting for emergency responders who are cold to come and warm up.
I just feel for the families. I mean, Jesus. Can you imagine that? You show up to pick somebody up. These were people, somebody's mothers, fathers, daughters, sons, cousins, uncles, boyfriends, girlfriends. I've had enough death around me and my family and friends and stuff lately that I don't like this crap.
Briefing is happening. You can see they've been given the go, and any moment now we are expecting to hear.
Okay, so they are going to do the NTSB briefing in a second.
And the initial information.
Yeah, behind me on Fox News Channel, if you got it, they're showing the collision right now, Jim. So if you have Fox News Channel, go look at it. Yeah, that flash in the background, I can blow it up on my screen. But...
Stepping over to that podium right now. Let's listen into Reagan Airport as we are.
All right, I'm going to turn this up, Jim.
Let up and what information we know early on about the crash of.
Yeah, it was a training flight, but they do a lot of training flights at night, Jim. They do training nights at flight because guys need a certain amount of flight time at night. You have to keep registered and up to date. You have to have a certain amount of flight time, with or without your goggles. I know that from friends who are in the military. You have to have a certain amount of flight time with goggles, without goggles, in certain zones, certain types of terrain. So it doesn't mean they were inexperienced pilots. They might have been very experienced crew, just keeping their hours, getting their time in, and stuff like that. So I am really hoping that's all we hear is this was an accident and it doesn't become something else. Because honestly, this country does not need that right now. So I'm fingers crossed. I'm just waiting. I'll turn the volume back up in a sec. But yeah, training flights don't mean inexperienced crew.
All right. Let's listen in.
So it could be up here. I'm going to turn this up and listen. I'm sure you can watch it on any channel on your TV. You don't have to stay here and watch me, but... Oh, hell, Jim. Hey, I will tell you right now, they moved fast, so all power to these people for trying and getting out there. And
Mayor of Washington,
here we go.
D.C. I'm at Reagan National Airport. I am joined by United States Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, United States Senator Jim Moran, Senator Roger Marshall, Jack Potter, the CEO of the Metropolitan Washington Airports Authority. We are here to brief you on the very tragic events of this evening, where we know a passenger plane coming to the airport here collided with a military helicopter. Our fire department, DC Fire and EMS, supported by fire departments and police departments from across the Washington metropolitan region, are executing a rescue operation in the Potomac River. They are working diligently in very dark and cold conditions, cold water.
Please tell us somebody survived this. Anybody, just one person even. Come
Execute
on.
this rescue operation. We have had the opportunity to be briefed by American Airlines officials. I'm told that American Airlines leadership is on the way to Washington as well, and officials are in the airport talking to families now. We do have a 1-800 number where families should contact us, should contact American Airlines for more information, and we will be providing that information shortly. I am going to turn to a number of officials to provide as much information as we can this evening, and we expect to have more frequent briefings at daylight.
I hope somebody asks if they found anybody alive. I mean, I'm just really, please, somebody.
Thank you, Mayor Bowser. I think for all of us, we want to extend our thoughts and prayers to those individuals who were impacted by the events tonight, their families. We know this is a very difficult time for all of them. I want to join the mayor and everyone here to extending our thank you to the first responders who, again, in very difficult situations and environments, are out there searching and attempting to rescue. Tonight, I spoke with President Trump and his team in the Situation Room. I had a conversation with Secretary Pete Hegseth as well, and then with the Kansas delegation and the mayor and others in leadership, as well as Governor Youngkin from Virginia and Governor Kelly from Kansas. From the Department of Transportation and FAA's perspective, we are going to offer full support to those on the ground, to the mayor, but also to the NTSB, who is going to be conducting the investigation in this matter. We are going to provide all the support that's necessary. Mayor.
Thank you. So with that, I want to ask Chief John Johnley from DC Fire and EMS to provide an update.
Good evening, everyone. I'm John Donnelly, Chief of DC Fire and EMS. This evening at 8:48, an alert was sounded, initiating a large regional response to a report of an aircraft crash on approach to the airport. This response includes first the Metropolitan Washington Airports Authority's Fire Department, the District of Columbia Fire Department, the Metropolitan Police Department, and the U.S. Park Police to respond into the area and to sort that out. At 8:58, the first units arrived on the scene and found an aircraft in the water and began rescue operations. This incident has grown. There's currently about 300 responders working. We have boats from all throughout the region, police and fire boats. We have a mutual aid agreement in Washington, D.C., the National Capital Region Mutual Aid Agreement administered by the Metropolitan Washington Council of Governments, and we're all operating under that. We're operating under a unified command. Everybody's together. So we also have requested state police helicopters from Maryland, and the Coast Guard helicopter is working. So this is a state and federal response as well. U.S. Coast Guard's got some boats in the water as well. So it's a highly complex operation. The conditions out there are extremely rough for the responders. It's cold. They're dealing with relatively windy conditions. Wind is hard out on the river. So they're out there working. We're doing everything we can to keep them safe. And with that, I'm going to turn it back to the mayor.
In Chief Bonnet from MY.
I'm Rick Bonnet.
I'm very
Chief
sorry,
of
Jim.
MY Fire and Rescue.
I've lost
Our
dogs,
unit
man.
has
I'll tell you what.
alluded to at
One thing a man can cry about
a
if he
alert
loses
from
a
an
dog.
FAA tower of an aircraft
Man.
incident involving a commercial aircraft and a helicopter. Our units immediately responded and deployed 3 boats and immediately called for mutual aid resources. Again, as Chief Donnelly said, it's an active operation that's going to last many hours as we continue to work through recovery efforts and rescue operations. This will be ongoing for quite a while. Our thoughts and prayers are with the families and our communities, and we appreciate all
They're
these
not mentioning
years of
any
support
survivors.
to
You'd
our
think they'd
agency
mention
and
it.
our federal partners.
So with that, I wanted to turn to the senators who are from Kansas who wanted to say a few words. First, Senator Moran, and then Senator Marshall.
Mayor, thank you, and Mr. Secretary, thank you, and to our first responders, thank you very much for all that's taking place here. I'm Jerry Moran.
This is where America
United States
shines.
Senator
We can
from
come
Kansas.
together in a crisis.
And I
Be
chair the
badasses.
subcommittee in Commerce Committee on Aviation. So we have really a serious and sad circumstance that we want to be here to be helpful. And we're praying that our responders are safe and the folks who are on that flight are recovered. The circumstance I would describe is that I know that flight. I've flown it many times myself. I lobbied American Airlines to begin having a direct nonstop flight service to DCA. That flight has been in existence about a year.
Okay, he's not saying anything overly needed right now, but I just got an update from Gateway Pundit. They are saying that at least 18 bodies have been recovered and no survivors yet. So, fuck. I was just hoping, praying, anything for even one person to survive this. One person we could all look at, rally around, and have a miracle. Yay, but
our subcommittee and Congress is engaged in what
I was really hoping, but unfortunately it looks like no survivors so far. 18 out of around 60 plus people, though.
I've talked to NTSB, I've talked to the White House.
Took a week before I could actually
talked
let
to
her
the
go.
Department of Defense, and I've talked to the CEO of American Airlines, and there is all of us pulling together for the best outcome possible. I'm honored to be here with my colleague, Senator Marshall, as we try to make certain that we care for those certainly back in Kansas that were on that flight. But it's a reminder that there are people here in Washington, D.C., in this region, in Virginia, and Maryland, and many places else that fly to and from Kansas. And so we're rooting and supporting all those, regardless of where you're from. And Mayor, I appreciate the gathering here for us to try to provide information to those in Kansas and across your city. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, thank you, Senator Moran and Mayor, Secretary. You know, when one person dies, it's a tragedy, but when many, many, many people die, it's an unbearable sorrow. It's a heartbreak beyond measure. And I know Senator Moran and I are here just to say we care. We wish that there was more we could do, but unfortunately there doesn't seem much at this time. I want the folks to back home to just know that we care, that we love them, and that this is a time when we'll have to join arms together and help each other out. We've been through things like this before, through tornadoes and floods and things, but it's really hard when you lose, you know, probably over 60 Kansans simultaneously. And I don't want to forget the pilots and the flight attendants, you know, who do their job, and the military personnel we lost. You know, all those lives are so valuable, and it is such a tragedy that we lost them. You know, I think often in times like this, I try to find a scripture that, you know, is apropos, and this is from the book of Psalms. It says, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." Certainly we're crushed in spirit tonight, we mourn with the families who lost loved ones, and we truly are joining them in prayer and wrapping our arms around them in love and compassion. Thanks for everybody for coming out tonight. Thank you for your thoughts and your prayers.
Wow.
So certainly I speak for the people of Washington, 700,000 of us who are extremely sorry for the families who are experiencing loss tonight. And so we want you to know that we will continue to work with American Airlines to share information as frequently as possible and make sure that we're getting accurate information out to the public. But my sorrow for all of the people and crew on the plane and our military personnel on the helicopter is very deep. I do want to turn to Jack Potter, who is the CEO of our Airports Authority, responsible for Reagan National Airport and Dulles International Airport, to talk to you about how the airport responded and what's going to happen next.
Good evening. As was said, I'm Jack Potter, the President and CEO of the Metropolitan Washington Airports Authority. Thank you all for being here tonight and under these very, very grim circumstances. First of all, I want to let you know that we're providing support to all the families who were involved. American Airlines has established a phone number for them to reach out. That's been published, but let me repeat it. It's 1-800-679-8215. So families of folks that were on the plane are asked to contact them. We did have folks who were at the airport to pick up loved ones, and so American has set up a center in their in their lounge at the north end of the airport, and we've directed the families there, and there are folks there counselors there to work with the families. We did have aircraft that were in the air. They were diverted to Dulles Airport, some 19 aircraft. We had personnel, United and others had personnel. We want to thank WMATA for extending their hours on the Metro to make sure that those folks were accommodated. Right now, as was said earlier by the chief, we're in a rescue mode. We will continue in that rescue mode. I want to thank all of the mutual aid responders, all the counties, the district, folks from Maryland and Virginia. Everybody's on site doing the best they can, and numerous boats out in the water right now. NTSB is on site. I want to thank all of the folks behind me, the secretary, the mayor, the two senators for all of their support, and we're going to continue to work through the night. I do want to make an announcement. People are, concerned about what's going to happen in the morning. Reagan National Airport will be closed until 11 o'clock. That's when the first flights will take off. But we're going to continue to do our best and work through this situation over the course of the night, and we hope to have more news as it develops. But for right now, it's a very difficult situation out there with the cold. It's very dark, but there are numerous boats out there. There are dive teams out there. So, again, we'll continue to work this situation, and I'll turn it back to the mayor. Thank you very much.
Thanks for that update. And you've heard that in the National Capital Region, the district, of course, is Washington, D.C. is at the center, but we are a close region. We have heard from the governors of Maryland and Virginia, the mayor of the city of Baltimore, all who have sent us personnel to help in the rescue operations. Last thing I'll note is just to our local viewership, and just please let our first responders do their work. Try to let our vehicles get to scenes and through scenes. We don't want anybody else to get hurt because of moving vehicles, okay? So we will be able to take...
I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but unfortunately, I think the window, due to the water temperature, has passed. And the current...
Once fire and EMS completes the rescue operation, then the investigation goes over to the National Transportation Safety Board. And I'm sure the safety board, NTSB,
Oh, NTSB
will
is
provide
already doing work.
information about when they will be briefing about an investigation. So we'll take a few. Yes.
Can you confirm that both aircraft are in the water, and perhaps Chief Donnelly can explain what's involved in conducting an operation like this in these conditions?
Yes, both aircraft are in the water. The focus now is rescuing people, and that's what all of our personnel are focused on. And Chief, I think he's given a pretty good description, but if there's anything else you want to add, Chief.
I would just say that the boats are out doing searches. We have divers on both aircraft, and they're searching the aircraft at this point.
Right.
Mayor?
Yes.
Have any survivors been found, and how many bodies have been recovered?
All we can confirm tonight is the number of people on each aircraft, 64 people on the American Airlines plane and 3 people on the military helicopter. And we can't provide any more information about recovery
The
efforts.
2 people have talked about lost loved ones. So how do you know that there are 3 people with lost loved ones?
I didn't say I didn't know people had lost loved ones. I said we can't talk about any of the recovery efforts in specific tonight. Yes.
Secretary Duffy,
So I'll call on who's next. Yes?
Thank you, Mayor Bowser. Will this affect operations at Dulles and BWI? Will the Potomac River traffic be closed to boats?
Yes. And so Jack has talked about, Jack, can you talk about Dulles? I'm not sure we can talk about the BWI, but we can talk about Dulles.
Right. There is no impact at BWI or at Dulles. As I said earlier, our airport here, Ronald Reagan National Airport, will be closed until 11 o'clock. Obviously, that will be fluid. We'll learn more, but we wanted to advise passengers who might be coming to the airport in the morning that we will be closed until at least 11 o'clock.
How many airports are there right
Yes,
there? Are
one
they
second.
talking about
You're
Dulles and everything else? That was, what, Die Hard 2. I mean, is Ronald Reagan International newer?
Extremely cold, and it's very dark outside. Although, Senator is saying that there are numerous boats in the water, but what's the biggest challenges for the rescue team? What best scenario we can expect in the coming few hours till morning?
So the challenges are access. The water that we're operating in is about 8 feet deep. There is wind. There is pieces of ice out there. So it's just dangerous and hard to work in. And because there's not a lot of lights, you're out there searching every square inch of space to see if you can find anybody. Divers are doing the same thing in the water. The water is
8
dark.
feet? They're good. That didn't land in the Mississippi where I
and that is a
live.
very tough
Ooh.
condition for them to dive
A little
in.
deeper.
The question about
It's
the
not
river,
super
we'll make
deep, but
that decision
I think a lot of
later
our
when
area
Coast
is
Guard's on
20
scene,
plus feet
and I
in a lot
would
of places.
That it's not a high use time in the river, and we should not expect to have commercial recreational traffic on the river tomorrow.
Okay, 3 questions. 1, 2, 3.
Secretary Duffy, have you been in touch with the air traffic controllers who were in the tower at the time of the crash?
I have not.
You have not. And second question, this is your first several hours in this position. What are your thoughts? What are you feeling right now?
My focus is on those who are impacted on this flight. And again, I've been secretary for a little over a day, and the tragedy that we're going to deal with this recovery, I think is touching everyone's hearts, whether it's here in the greater DC area or in Kansas. And again, I think everyone here is thinking and praying for those who potentially have lost a loved one. And thank you.
Okay, your question?
Can any of you give us any sense about how an accident like this could have happened so close to the airport, right in the heart of DC? There have been reports that the DCA tower contacted the helicopter moments before the crash to ask if they had sight of the aircraft, and apparently the helicopter reported that it did have sight of an aircraft. Is it possible that it had the wrong aircraft in sight? Do you have any sense of what went wrong in those final moments?
I know that the National Transportation Safety Board in its investigation will be able to search on all of those questions. We wouldn't be able to talk about that tonight. Yes?
2 points for Secretary Duffy. The first thing you were talking about, you were in a situation when with the president and Pete Hegseth both being there. Can you tell us more about the president's initial reaction to this, as well as Pete Hegseth, if this was a military
She's asking about the president's reaction and the other White House
with
staff.
The Situation Room, where the president was located, as well as with Secretary Hegseth. We were exchanging information. I would just note that not just the local team, but the federal team has performed very well in this crisis. I know the president is incredibly concerned about what's happened here today. I'm sure we'll continue to hear more from him, and I'll continue to consult with him and Secretary Hegseth.
When it comes to the resources that you would be able to provide on the federal level, do you feel like you're getting?
Ooh, 60. Oh, that's why they were saying 64 on BBC. 60 passers for
the
crew.
president has committed to this team and to the NTSB through the DOT that we will provide all resources necessary.
I'm not sure that was a
as we go
relevant
through this
question. Why are
recovery,
you
but
asking
also,
about the president
the
right
support
now?
from FAA and DOT,
Honestly,
as the
Trump can't do anything more to help than these people that are there. You should be. No.
Again, I don't think we can comment.
He asked the
on
condition of the
that.
aircraft.
Focus is on getting the passengers and crew out of the water.
And just one more clarification.
That's really silent in the background.
DCA was going to be shut down at least until Friday at 5 a.m. I just heard
11 a.m.
11 a.m. tomorrow.
11.
Tomorrow. Okay.
Yes. Okay, we can take a few more questions. A question here, a question here, and here. Yeah.
Mayor Bowser, can you just confirm, has anybody been transported to the hospital?
Again, I can't say anything about the rescue operation right now. Who was next? Yes.
Yeah, Chief Donnelly, can you speak a little bit more about the unified command who leads this phase of the rescue and recovery? At what point do you then change phases? And can you describe to us the scene as best you can when first responders first arrived?
So I happened to be listening to the radio
Okay.
this evening when the call came out.
Wow.
I listened to the responders come
I'm
in.
gonna minimize.
And the initial response, they were.
You can still hear them.
Very professional, trying to locate this. This is.
I want to make sure I don't get nailed for something I shouldn't. You know,
at night,
sometimes I get
lights on it,
cranky.
except for a few buoy
There we
lights.
go.
So they
As
were
long
out
as that's
there
up.
looking. The boats
But-
pretty quickly were able to locate one of the aircraft and get there.
Yeah.
So that's what.
No, they were out there
right now.
quick.
Everybody's working on that. We will.
It's just what is there to
reevaluate
do
where we
about
are
it?
with the
Sorry,
rest
whenever
of
time I pull my
operation
pointer
in the
off of
morning,
where I
we'll get a better
was,
sense of it, but we are
it
still out there working,
if I put it
and
back,
we're gonna
it comes
continue
right
that
back. It's
throughout
something
the night.
weird going on with my software.
There are survivors?
We don't know yet, but we're working.
Is any part of the search happening over land?
No, we're all in the water.
If there's survivors, man, I'm gonna be
Yes. Oh, you got a
any.
somebody didn't
I'll
get
take a
question.
person.
Hold
Come on, give us at least
Yes.
one person.
I just wanted to ask, do you have an
But
estimate yet on how long the recovery efforts will take?
Chief.
So experiences like this we expect to continue our operations in the fire department for multiple days. And then I would expect the investigation goes longer than that.
Okay, you didn't get a question, and you were next, I think.
Okay, thank you, Maria. My question is, do we have any plan to prevent future crash or future accidents? Do we have any like to reform the authority, the airport control to calm those people who are flying in the next few days? And also, how long the rescue is gonna last? Are we gonna stop rescue after tomorrow 11 a.m.? Like divers team?
No, dummy.
No, I mean, I think
I don't know
you
if it'll
just
be a
heard the
rescue
chief
by that
said
time.
we're going to be out there as long as it takes, and we're obviously trying to get to people as soon as possible, but we are going to recover our fellow citizens. Yes.
Yeah, but problem is, sooner or later it becomes recovery.
How do you balance the search and rescue operation with preserving the scene for the investigation that's now underway?
So
The
from
search and rescue
from
comes
fire
first.
department's
Screw the
point of view,
scene.
We are always going to put people first. But I don't think that I think our operations, because we have a unified command, we are all working together, and the NTSB is in contact with us.
It's kind of an idiot
and we'll work
question.
together to make sure
Sorry,
that
I think it's just an idiot
show
question.
evidence that it's
What do you mean, preserve the... When it comes down to people's lives, the people are fucking first, and then you worry about the goddamn scene.
comes first.
Let's hope there's somebody alive and we can find them, and then we'll worry about the scene.
I know it's early, but are there any immediate actions the FAA should take to prevent helicopters and commercial
So obviously there'll be a review of what happened here tonight. And after the FAA studies what happened, we will take appropriate action.
Somebody
if
screwed
necessary,
up.
to modify flight paths and permissions.
Do you have any more details about the helicopter
Oops.
issues with the Black Hawk and Fairvalve? Have you heard directly from President Trump?
I spoke with the President's National Security Advisor, and I have not talked to the President yet, and I do not know what the mission was. So let me close by saying again, thank you to the members of the press to help us get information out to the families. The American Airlines number is 800-679-8215, 800-679-8215. And I expect the airport will likely provide additional information in the morning. Thank you.
All right, you've been
I really
listening to
hope
the
nobody
first
sues
news
the
conference over the crash of American
you know,
Airlines
the
flight
airline over
5342
this.
flying
It
from
doesn't
Wichita,
look like there's
Kansas
anything the airline
to
could have
Reagan
done.
National Airport.
Unless
This is
something
our
comes
live
out,
continuing
some
coverage here on
negligence.
Fox 5. I'm Kenneth Moten, along with my colleague Sharon Roget, taking over for our colleagues Jim Lokay and Angie Goff. This was a very sobering news conference here because while they did not confirm the number of fatalities or survivors,
They showed in the
they
background.
said this is a rescue operation that is still in full effect here, that is being operated totally in the waters there, in the icy waters and the murky waters of the Potomac River.
Yeah.
But not saying, even though there are
there's not much I
passengers,
have to say
fatalities,
on this,
presumed
honestly,
dead
except
here,
I really hope
presumed
that
fatalities, I should
this
say,
just
they wouldn't confirm that at this hour, maybe
there's
out of respect.
no good
we've
hopes
seen this
here.
Before, where the search and rescue goes on for
Here,
hours
let me mute
before they
real
start
quick.
calling it a recovery
Turn it
effort.
down.
But we do know that there are a number of people
Well, that's still for
presumed,
me.
Dead after this crash there into the Potomac.
Yeah, it's kind of unbelievable what we've been watching for the last 4 hours. There's the lights
let me-
there on the Potomac River.
let me pop this up and
signaling
turn it down
very
a little.
grim picture, as we just heard the mayor.
I'm doing it through my desk, just mirroring my desktop because I was in a hurry.
Unified command, 300
back up. Come on.
responders,
There we go.
divers, both in the region.
I don't think there's much I can say. I didn't come on here to try to, I don't know.
To see if they can find anyone alive
I
in
just,
those
I
waters.
really hope
I
that,
think that is
there's no good way to talk about this. I hope it comes out to have just been an accident. A unfortunately very bad accident. That there's no malicious anything. Nobody was depressed. Nobody was being I don't know. You know what I mean? I just don't want this to be something beyond what it is.
We have learned that it was
So yeah.
a training
Christina
flight.
Macy, hey, how's it going?
Again, as
It's
Kenneth
a little
alluded
crazy
to,
right now. We had this plane collide with a helicopter in Washington, D.C., and unfortunately it looks like a significant loss of life. So I just came on to kind of share the news or view it and get it out, or if anybody was looking for a stream. Not everybody has cable or access to internet where they can get onto local channels, so, you know. But how is everything going over there in the UK for you? It is, what, about 6 a.m. there. You're up early.
Is also in the water right now.
About 6:30 a.m.? You're what, 6 hours ahead?
Situation. We have a number of crews out there monitoring this, trying to get close, trying to get us information.
But unfortunately, I do not believe they are going to. I know. I like how they're still focused on rescue. That's great, but I unfortunately by the temperature of the water mixed with the height of the fall and the current, unfortunately, I think unless they come out and announce something decently soon overnight about a survivor, I sadly think we're going to be not having any. And once again, thoughts and condolences go out to everybody involved in this, including the air traffic controllers, because that's got to be just, even if you did everything right, it's got to just be horrid. It'd be horrid to be on the job and have that happening. Christina, I've been paragliding this year, so I've been quite in affiliation with the Yeah, they are rare. Honestly, if you look at how many flights, oops, sorry about that. I got to keep that on there. If you look at how many flights go in and out every day through all the countries in the world, it's crazy. It's amazing. The unfortunate bad thing is when these do go bad, they just go bad horribly because there's just so they do so much damage. It's not rare. It's not like a car crash where 1-2 people can die. It's usually, unfortunately, a lot of people. Because we all don't have our personal aircraft, so, we're gathered up in these things. And I hope the air traffic controller did everything they were supposed to do, followed procedure. The only thing I can see so far is I'd like to know why the helicopter didn't answer the air traffic controller of the recording. So, I would like to know that, and hopefully they find out why or somehow. So, yeah. Yes, Christina, you're right. When things go wrong, unfortunately, with the air travel, they go wrong bad. Not only because of how many people, but just the very physics of we're up in the air and we don't do good with falls. Humans do not fall well, or at least we don't land from our falls well. So,
Some of the divers who are out here, you can't see them clearly, but they're out there. Same issue. They're saying the same issue that.
Man, more power to those badasses out there diving and trying to hope to find something alive.
Okay, all right, guys. So the deal is
it's
dive teams in the water.
If you think about it, air traffic is unique. In cars, we drive around in cars with between 1 and 4 people on average in them. And sure, there are some buses, school buses, tour buses, whatever, buses. Your city buses could carry, upwards of 50, 60 people. But think about this, almost everything in the air. Sure, we got small aircraft, but every commercial aircraft almost is a couple school buses or more of people in it. So, yeah, when stuff goes wrong, shit really goes wrong.
The DC side of the Potomac River here, south of the airport, as they are looking for any.
Well, I'm glad you're flying again, Christina. That's great. I mean, I don't know if I'd be a good paraglider, but oof. Depending on where you're at over there in a certain place, you guys got the winds for it. Are you in Scotland area? I can't remember.
Even though the helicopter and plane collided.
I can't remember if you're in Scotland or.
Where the land.
Urbexi's in Scotland.
But they're still there. The helicopter flying.
Yeah, I can't remember. I thought you were up there too, but I could be wrong. You guys got a little more winds up there.
Island south of the airport not long ago, so they are searching this whole area.
Just let me know if you want this louder. I mean, he's not. I'm listening in my headphones. He's not saying
tell us it's
too much. Just about staying out of the way of everybody and their divers out there.
Been exchanging crews and some of the first responders that we.
Yeah, the divers can only dive so long in this cold. They can only handle the cold even with the right suits and everything so much, and dive so long in this. And they ran out there to not even just an emergency. You only have so long in the water.
East and have kind of solidified over there.
I can't remember what it is. I know a guy that's an Army Corps of Engineers diver around here, and he has to rotate his guys and keep track of times and everything.
Of the airport property. We heard
just south of Edinburgh. Okay.
We don't know that any have been recovered or anybody's been rescued. But any who will be, from the sense we're getting from our conversations with the authorities, that is likely they will be bringing them to the airport property, which, by the way, is sealed off, even though we do have a crew, at one of the terminals where that news conference just was. If you're passing
Fox isn't showing really anything different. They're showing a close-up
airport on
a search craft behind me.
Now I want to pan to the right here.
I said I got Fox News Channel on, but I can't get it to come up here because I'm not connected to my provider on the computer.
But here's one of the boats that's been out here.
Imagine flying.
And it had red and blue.
How do you get pulled over for drunken flying? Just a thought. Well, if we had flying cars, Jim, let me turn this down. He's not hearing. If I hear anything that you guys can't hear on the headphone, I can hear a little more on the headphones.
enter the airport property.
Yeah, drunk. Dude, if we were had flying cars, there would have to be something in there to assure that, before you even took off, that you couldn't drive drunk, fly drunk. Because we couldn't have that. That is, think about this. Take the dangers of drunk driving and times up by about 1,000 or more, or maybe 1,000,000. Because you're in the air with all these other cars, or you get in a crash. You get in a crash, you may survive. You get in a crash and then fall. Or what if you get in a crash, once again, tons of stuff in the air is the size of 2 or 3 or 4 school buses full of people. You couldn't have people just flying drunk. You'd have to have a breathalyzer in every vehicle pretty much, or some type of quick little poke blood testing that assures that you're, like a little diabetes blood testing. Boom, it assures you're not drinking or something. You just couldn't have it. You have to have some type of controls. In fact, I'm betting that's one reason we don't have a lot more flying stuff. Could you imagine trying to control that? Well, I don't know if you guys ever seen Fifth Element. It'd be something like that. It'd be something like that. Sorry, I just got this low so I can hear it in case they say something new. But no, flying cars would be a nightmare. So there are problems, but like if you've seen Fifth Element, see how that traffic looks. Whoa, holy crap. And if you haven't seen Fifth Element, oh, come on, really? One of my top movies of all time, still. I think it was made in, 1998? God, it's amazing how good that movie still looks. They said 300 first responders. I'm looking in the background, and I was seeing more than 300 first responder vehicles. I think there's a lot more than that. I think they had thousands of people already. You couldn't even fly straight. I'm flying a straight line home. There are no lanes. Yeah. See, that's the thing. Well, you could have lanes. You can have markers. Planes can run off of a radar or markers or radio signals in certain directions in straight lines. My drone, I could set my drone to return home, and it will return right to my controller or my cell phone signal. So you could set them like that, where everybody has to stay in lanes. You can't be in a certain area. So it's definitely settable. So we can make air lanes or air traffic lanes. We have the technology to control cars. Once you get in that boop, you're in that lane, and you're along with everybody else. Or we have the electronics in air flying vehicles that could lock you in a certain course or warn you when you're in certain areas. My drone won't even fly in certain areas. I can't take my drone off near certain buildings or airports or anything else, or certain restricted areas like nuclear plants or anything else. So we could do that easily. If my little pocket drone from DJI has that technology, not to take off, not to fly certain areas, we could definitely do that with, commuter aircraft. Yeah, some type of autopilot, Jim, where it would follow a signal or it would stay in an air traffic lane. That's not hard to program or set up. Like I said, my drone will fly in certain areas and not in others. So we have air traffic areas set up now. And certain electronics in them would allow you, because they'd have GPS. You'd have GPS location and everything. You'd have to know where you're at. Because if you've ever been in a plane and looked down, it's hard to track things and see things. So you'd have GPS location. It would be able to pick and fly in certain areas. And you'd have to stick to certain heights. Like my drone can't fly above a certain height. And then it's not supposed to fly below certain heights in a lot of areas, like so are aircraft now. So you can set all that. I mean, we've got autopilot. We've had autopilots in planes since what? World War II? World War I maybe even? I don't know. So our technology is way there. And think about it. Our passenger jets up there have autopilots that can fly them halfway across the country. With all the people, change course, all that, so we could do that. But there would have to be controls. You would have to have a way to know if somebody's not impaired. You would have to make any penalty for doing so would be so stiff you would never even think about doing it. I mean, it would have to be almost like if you even get caught one time buzzed, you should probably see jail for 5 years. It would have to be bad. And you'll be paroled in a year. Because if you go up drunk driving in a flying plane, you could be taken, some of the big aircraft carry, what, 1,000 people or 500 people, something like that? You could really take the chance of offing, 500 people or more. Wow. There would have to be super stiff penalties. But I think we just do controls.
As it comes in. Here's the river depth I wanted to mention.
He's showing,
on the extreme
showing the landing here. I'm gonna pull this up a little bigger.
As you can do it. They have the shipping lane, which is where those big container ships will go on by. They keep it as far away from the airport intentionally, right? They don't want the planes flying and hitting any of the taller ships there. So 30 to 36 feet of depth there on the eastern flank. It's a pretty narrow shipping lane, though. They really stay confined to that eastern shore. It's in this area where they're likely doing most of the searching here, so kind of central.
Well, it wouldn't be like that, Jim. There's got to be some control. You'd have to have some type of control, and you have to be able to turn off the autopilot in case of a problem or something like that, or to get to those flight lanes. You got to be able to take off and land, and not only flight controls don't always land everything really well or take off well, especially in bad weather. So there's certain weather conditions where you would definitely have to be able to fly it or take over in case of emergency. What if you have an autopilot problem? You'd have to be able to take over that plane. So if you're drunk, once again, you can't have that.
That comes up 6:47.
I do not think.
And then 7:15. Official sunrise.
I do not think they would let, he was just showing the layout there, but I don't think they would let you fly without having to have some type of control. Because, once again, if something happens, something goes wrong with the systems, some type of emergency, when you take off of your house and get to a flight lane, I don't think we have the computer system to control, let's say, even 70 million privately owned little passenger planes or VTOLs, vertical takeoff landing craft. I don't think we have that type of capacity in air traffic controllers and computer systems. There'd have to be some type of self-control, so you'd have to be able to take over. We'd probably have some, like what they'd call maybe air flying express lanes. And you'd get into that, and you would be all flying. The computer would take over, and you'd be flying in that. And it would, just like today's cars with the radar systems, you'd be in line, and we'd all be going. I'm staying land-based. Yeah. That's, once again, that's probably another reason we haven't taken off and been flying with flying cars.
Wow.
It's just so complicated.
I mean, they say when this collision happened, this mid-air collision happened between this regional jet.
Wow, there's a
coming
picture.
from Wichita, Kansas, to DCA.
Look at that picture of the water.
U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopter.
There you go. That's
sadly,
horrible.
Many people had reported that they saw this plane kind of go into different pieces throughout the waters there, and you can see that damage to that plane. It's just a stunning sight.
And we will see more in the light of day, but again, this is the first image, an up-close image for us to take a look at that wreckage in the Potomac.
They're not even showing
you
that in
see
the Fox
the
News
airport,
channel.
Reagan National in the background.
Local channels.
And you see a boat that is right there again. First responders say that divers are in the water. They are, we believe they are in the aircraft, both of them.
This is why I was hoping, against all hope, that we'd find somebody alive. Even just one damn person.
We can see the wreckage there, and that is something else to see. We knew that we possibly see something.
Well,
like
Jim,
that,
I haven't slowed down.
Actually, lay eyes on it. That is tough to see.
Yeah, and no doubt. I mean, listen, our hearts, our thoughts right now are with the families, both in Wichita, Kansas,
100%.
and the ones that are here. We are told some families are here, some are trying to desperately get here, some are depending on us and DC officials to get them the information that they need. Again, Mayor Bowser, as of just a few moments ago, said this is a rescue operation.
See, when you see big chunks like that, you always hope they find somebody alive, but you're strapped in, you're in the plane, there's suddenly a big collision, a boom, and you hit the water at like a couple hundred miles an hour. And it's cold water like that.
Something we haven't seen in this region for decades. We saw earlier, kind of in the distance, the plane crash where you can kind of see that fireball in the sky, but this certainly gives us
they're going to show it? I was hoping I wonder if they're going to show it.
And it also shows us what those first responders are dealing with.
Turn this down a little. I'm going to say something, and please don't take this wrong. If they're not going to find anybody alive, I sure as hell hoped nobody suffered. I hope it was just boom fast. When that helicopter and plane hit and that big flash in the sky, maybe then, or as soon as they smacked into the water at that speed, I hope nobody suffered. I hope nobody was in the cold water and succumbed slowly after that, injured, or just, I hope there was none of that. I really hope for those that lost their lives that it was decently rapid. No fear, no scream, no, oh God, oh God. I really hope that it was as painless and rapid as possible if that's the way it's going to be. But I still hope against hope we find just even one amazing person to have survived this.
I say that for a few reasons. There is water access down there. By the way, in relation to the airport, we're across the Potomac and up the Anacostia just a little bit. We've seen
Stuff like this is why I don't think we pay some of our first responders enough.
For the past couple hours that we've been standing out here now,
I mean, I'm sure those divers, you're a type of rescue diver like that, you make good money, but wow. Yeah, they're just talking about the airport layout and everything on Fox News. Local channel is actually a little better.
also fire trucks, police cruisers, and police SUVs. What exactly they're doing down there, all this emergency.
So what else has been going on across the pond there, Christina?
It's tough to know from our vantage point. However, I can tell
Oops, trying to see. Trump did some type of post about the plane, so I'm trying to see.
it's a dead end. Only about
Well, they're saying he doesn't know everything. He's just told there's a crash, blah, blah. It was a clear night. The lights on the plane were blazing. Why didn't the helicopter go up or down or turn? I just want to know why the helicopter didn't answer air traffic control on the recording I heard. I didn't hear them answer, and I'm a little worried about that. I'm a little worried about that. Trying to see if there's anything new in this story I'm getting. Not that I'm seeing, no. Trump's statement. Okay, I'm going to read a statement from Trump here, of the president. Okay, I'm going to hit mute. All right. This is a statement from Donald Trump. He posted, the airplane was on a perfect and routine line of approach to the airport. The helicopter was going straight at the airplane for an extended period of time. It was a clear night. The lights on the plane were blazing. Why didn't the helicopter go up or down or turn or just stop? You're a helicopter. A helicopter can stop. Planes can't do that. Why didn't the control tower tell a helicopter what to do instead of asking if they saw the plane? Yeah, they did ask that. I would have been like, hey, stop. The second time they did contact, they did say, hey, go behind the airplane. They asked if they saw it and said, go behind it. I don't like that the helicopter didn't answer either time. Sure, the second time was only seconds for the hit, but the first time was a while before. So why weren't they answering? Yeah, so this is a bad situation. It looks like it should have been prevented. I'm not sure. Not good. What a terrible night this has been. God bless you all. That's Donald Trump. But we don't know what Donald Trump knows. We don't know for sure. But yeah, I will say I think it's weird that that they didn't budge. They didn't stop them. I hate people riding the left lane. We get Jim. I think most states, and even a lot of countries are. If you are in the wrong lane, riding in the fast lane, I think you get ticketed. It's impeding traffic. I know Illinois is that way. Iowa's that way. So Indiana. I think I'm going to bet most states are. But yeah, it was just a little statement by Donald Trump there, and we don't know what he knows.
Sadly, I feel, Kenneth, as the
but
hours go
I
by,
do think it's weird that the aircraft landing lights are insanely bright. So why didn't they see that?
In our reporting, over the last couple of
Why
years,
didn't
we've seen
they
these
notice
close
those?
calls at Reagan National for some time.
Why
and
didn't
there's been
they
contention
answer the air
for a lot
traffic
of people,
control? These are just
who are
questions,
against,
everybody. I'm not
potentially adding more flights
being a conspiracy
to
theorist, but
Reagan National just because
on the
of
tape, when the air traffic control was talking to the plane or the helicopter, they did not answer. They didn't answer twice. And one of them was a good while before the collision. Why didn't they answer? That seems like a dumb idea to me right there, unless we had some equipment failure and the radio wasn't working. It happens. But yeah, they didn't answer the air traffic control when he asked, hey, do you see this? Do you see this plane coming in? Nothing, 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 nothing. And then the air traffic controller again a little later goes, hey, do you see this plane coming? Go behind them. I would have been like, stop. Now, go behind, stop. So I want to know why they didn't answer. I would like to know that. See if we ever do know that. I would like to know why the air traffic controller didn't just tell them to stop. It's a helicopter. Just stop. Do not enter that airspace. Why would you? I don't know the job, but why would you even have a helicopter flying across a landing airplane's airspace at all? I would have said no. Stop. Now this senator.
Just what was your reaction when you heard what happened?
You know, is it true? Where is this plane really from Wichita? Those were the first reports. I didn't know they are true or not. But beyond all that, I just think it's so important that I express my prayers, my concern, my love for anyone who lost.
Never leave it to a
family.
Don't leave it to a politician to get in there and
certainly the pilots and the flight attendants and the military personnel. That this is a tough time.
Okay.
It's a tragedy to lose one person when you lose many.
I don't know. I hope we learn there's nothing to it.
It's a heartbreaker.
America doesn't need that right now, or maybe
it's starting to.
Worst case, maybe it's a wake up for us. We've got too much crap going on in this country for the last 4 years that we didn't get to know about. Too much of our government hiding stuff from us. Too much bringing in just random people we don't know about. Too much not paying attention to our own people with their own mental health problems and financial problems and infrastructure problems. So.
I can't. No one's told me, but we had over 60 people on a plane.
It's
crashed in the Potomac.
Nope, they're not showing anything different back behind me, really. Still showing the layout of the airport on Fox News and some of the staging of the emergency vehicles.
Air evacuations going here.
They are showing the video, I believe, of the crash. Yeah, there it is, the mid-air collision.
And it's just been too long.
Going in and boom. Yep, unfortunately.
The first responders are working in difficult conditions as well, dark and cold out there. And what are the next steps for you?
Yeah. Well, I do want to also say thanks to those rescue workers. I really do. My dad was a police officer for 25 years. And
amazing.
Cold nights
amazing how fast they all got out there. Amazing how smooth this was handled after this incident.
It's not only cold, it's not only dark, but
I have questions, and I hope we get answers to all those questions. We don't need to have crap open. No room for any conspiracy theories that isn't, let's get facts.
And what are the next steps?
All right, guys, I'm probably going to get off here in a little bit.
I think that we'll let Sean Duffy do his job.
I hope everybody out there is hoping and praying. Just give us some survivors. Come on. I know the likelihood anymore. But give us all something to rally around, something good to rally around out of this horrible thing. I'll take one person. I would take a cat in the cargo hold having survived to be. I'll adopt that dang cat. I'll tell you right now, I would definitely adopt that cat. I need something with those lives in my house.
So we need to know if it's safe. Was this a preventable accident or not? So we want answers. But tonight, tomorrow's the day.
Yes, Jim. They ran into the rear end of them, is what it looks like. Well, see, I don't know, Jim, because. Okay, I'm gonna bring this down a little. All right. See, I don't know if you call it a red light, because if you get the chance to listen to the air traffic control tape, the air traffic controller never told the helicopter to stop. I keep coming back to it. I'm gonna keep apologizing to any air traffic controller out there who may know, hey, dumbass, that's not how it works. I get that. I don't know. I hate when people. I'm an auto tech. I hate when people try to tell me how to fix their car. It's like, yeah, I get it. But it just seems stupid that the air traffic controller asked this helicopter, hey, do you see this plane? The air traffic controllers, I've heard air traffic control stuff before, because I was used to plumb into air traffic control tower in my area when I was flying my drone. And I remember hearing them say, they never asked, hey, do you see this? They said, hey, flight number 3338 coming in, blah, blah, blah. They would say, you have a 747 Heavy coming in at blah 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 near you. They didn't ask them. I've always heard them tell them, not just go, hey, do you see this plane? So I don't know if that's operating procedure, but yeah, it looks like I still would have told the helicopter stop. Especially maybe that second call, but that was only seconds before they hit, where the air traffic control said, hey, do you see this plane? Go behind them. Not one answer from the helicopters was bothering me. So yeah, they hit them in the tail section, it looks like. Looks like they hit them near the rear or something like that, or so maybe right in the middle. I don't know. It's hard to see from the distance of that footage. Nobody has to tell me don't hit that plane. Well, Jim, even coming in landing, a helicopter, let's say, is going across, let's say he's traveling, what, 80 to, let's say 50 to 80 miles an hour. Airplane coming in at a 90 degree to him is doing, even at landing, I believe around 200 miles an hour, something like that. Let me see. Let's figure it out here. How fast? Let's see. Landing speed. Landing speed of a jetliner. Okay, your landing speed of your jetliners is between 160 and 180. So you got, at 190 degree angle, you have the helicopter going like this. And you have the jet coming like this. He may never have seen him. And the jet won't, because the jet's got his nose up like this coming in for landing. He's hitting full power, pulling his flaps. He's coming in mostly like this. Coming in like that. Their nose is up. And the helicopter coming across, depending on the angle, may not have ever seen him. I don't know what type of visibility they have out of the Blackhawks. But if he's coming in clear out here really fast and nose up, personally, yeah, I think they would have seen the lights. I would think so. I'll tell you what, on the video, even from a super long distance, those lights of that landing jet were very bright. So that's a wonder. But yeah, I really want to know why the air traffic control didn't just say, hey, stop. Do not go across this. There's a plane coming in. I really want to know why the helicopter didn't answer. Stuff like that. So, and yeah, it is a good question. I want to know why they didn't see those lights. That is bright. So, I don't know. I'd like to know what type of training exercise it was. So, we'll see.
To the south of the runway there. And I want to point out, we've seen police helicopters, we've seen rescue boats, officers walking out onto these piers with flashlights, because the way the current is, eventually they think that it kind of drifted down to the western shore of the Potomac River here, where they might find debris or, God forbid, bodies or wreckage. There was some conjecture here just a bit ago that they might be looking for even body parts. I know this is very gruesome, but this is an absolute tragedy that they've had here. I should point
Last report I saw showed they'd recovered 18 bodies. So if you got, let's say, 64 on the airplane and 3 in the helicopter, we got a lot left to unfortunately find.
They said this is already a much busier airport than Dulles International Airport. It's not as small. It's a notoriously small runway. And other people said, well, this is good for the economy and so on. The Kansas senators who appeared at this press conference a little bit ago with Muriel Bowser, they noted that this flight from
Which
Wichita,
airport's bigger?
That has just been added within the past year. And this has been a real test for 2 new cabinet secretaries just confirmed in the past couple of days by the Senate. Pete Hegseth, the new defense secretary, he put out a statement earlier calling this, quote, absolutely tragic, and prayers for all impacted souls. And then also Sean Duffy, who is the new transportation secretary, he was just confirmed by the Senate yesterday afternoon. But what we've seen over the past couple of hours,
yesterday afternoon, the NTSB guy gets sworn in, and he has to come in and deal with this. All right, here's a little info for you guys. Dulles International Airport is the main international airport for Washington, D.C. It's served by many major international carriers, the big carriers, the big jets. A lot of the big boys come in. The biggest of the biggest come into Dulles. That is just from all over the world. Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport is the closest airport to downtown, and usually not as many bigger planes come in Washington, Ronald Reagan. Yeah, Dulles is much larger than Reagan, it says here. Dulles is located in suburban Virginia, as we all know from Die Hard 2. 26 miles from Washington's downtown. D.C. Reagan is located across the Potomac in Virginia, pretty much right in town. So, yeah. So, yeah, Dulles is really easy to navigate. But, yeah, there's a big difference in them.
Are you seeing a big number?
So, yeah.
Can you count them on your hand?
Yeah, Ronald Reagan International Airport its proximity to the city is only about 4 miles. And you can see right there's the background. The city's all around them. But there are 27 miles to Dulles from the same point. So there's a difference for you guys right there. There is differences in them. There is 360 degree sight on a Black Hawk. Okay. Their eyes are screen heat sensitive. Okay. Okay. Hey, thanks for that info. I don't know. Never been in a lot of military aircraft, especially not flying. But yeah. Okay. So let me see here. I'm going to call up a Black Hawk cockpit picture.
That added more flights there to DCA. And so now, while yes, we're focused on this recovery and rescue effort, there's going to be something that happens.
Cockpit view, images. Sorry, I'm looking. Well, let me see. Okay, they don't have 360s. I don't see any view above them. It show. Okay, I see the 360 you're talking about. There it is. Okay, Jim. Yes, yes. Right above the heads of the pilots there. I don't know if you guys can see that. Right above the pilots' heads. Yes, there is glass. Jim is right. Okay. So yeah, they can see up. They can see pretty well. So how did they miss this airplane coming in and not say anything? Okay, thank you, Jim. That was a great info. And that's why you got that wrench, my friend. Yeah. So yeah, there's a good amount of view out of this puppy. So what in the hell happened that they didn't see? Wow, Fox News Channel is doing much worse than this local channel, switching around and looking at different stuff.
We're not far from Chad, who you just spoke to, here at Dangerfield Island, just south of the airport. And I want to let Eugene Russell pan off, and you can see the airport is over here behind us. And right now, the helicopter that was overhead, we don't hear it.
So now I'm really curious on how this got missed. All right, I will say this one last time. Well, maybe not one last time, but I'm going to lay this out. Okay, now Jim has put another bug in my head now, because now that I looked at the actual cockpit layout, where the heck, there's a lot of visual. Now, were they flying with night vision goggles? Because as far as I know, night vision goggles, because somebody mentioned that earlier on one of the channels I was watching, that night vision goggles can limit your vision. You don't see as wide a range. So if they were flying with night vision to do practice or whatever else, maybe they couldn't see it. Maybe the plane came out and blinded. I know, because there was too many time between the calls. But once again, how'd they not see it? How'd they not know? Why didn't the air traffic controller stop them? Say stop. Stop. That second call, he really should have said stop. How close? They were so close to that second call. There was only seconds between the second call from the air traffic controller and the collision. It was a matter of 2 to 3 seconds. So why didn't he just scream, stop? He should have screamed, stop. At that point, you ain't got time to sit there and say, hey, go behind, stop. Oh, Jesus. I mean, no answer from the helicopter either time. You would think they can't do radio silence type of training over city like this and around active airports. There's no way the military would ever do something that stupid. At least I don't think so. Maybe the radio failed. I don't know. Maybe what we have here is just an amazing amount of bad luck and failures all at once. Maybe the radio was down. Maybe they couldn't see the plane because of the angle. Maybe the plane coming in too fast from their 90 degrees. Like, holy crap. Air traffic controller not, Yeah, I don't know. Maybe didn't say the right thing. I don't know. So I'm curious. I want to see what comes out of this.
Because we have seen the boats with their lights and their crews passing us.
Yeah,
slowly,
unfortunately I don't think they're going to do any type of
skimming the surface of the water.
Any type of recovery anymore, or rescue. Rescue. I think we're going to end up going in recovery. All right, Jim lived in Warrenton, Virginia, about 20 miles from D.C. Actually worked for the DOD. Was a private contractor. Wow. All the military bases on east of the Mississippi. I was in Rock Island. Oh, well, there you go. You were in the Arsenal then, probably. The Rock Island Arsenal.
Do we see a boat there? Yeah, you see a boat.
That's a nice old base out there on the island, Arsenal Island.
And we have heard that there was a call for anybody who.
We've actually had a good amount of military stuff around here in the Quad Cities.
On Thursday morning,
we got multiple things going on here. That arsenal makes a crap load of munitions and armor. Woof. I've been on there for some tours and some more old Boy Scout stuff and everything else. Wow.
Like a pontoon kind of boat or something, but most of what we have seen out on the water.
I'm not sure there's anything new going to come out here for a while. I got breathing treatments to get to yet tonight. I was going to do some video editing and stuff on here, but I think I'm about cooked for the night.
That's in the area of where
horrible situation.
Where the,
what type of work did you do, Jim? Private contractor, what'd you do? Of course, every time, in the movies, if you hear a private contractor, it means, you're black ops and you do the stuff off the books the government doesn't want to have on any type of books. So if you're that type of private contractor, I'm definitely going to be very nice to you.
And looking at the surface.
Very nice.
This is probably, I would say, guys, the middle of the river, kind of halfway between our shoreline and the shoreline over there in D.C.
Yeah, it sounds like, I will say this, if we can look at one thing that was good out of this, or not good, but at least one thing that wasn't as horrible as the rest, is the fact that they're saying this pretty much took place right over the river. It's kind of good it didn't take place like right over one of the highways, over some buildings or something.
Yes, and the other thing is, Hannah, thank goodness it is not windy. It's cold, but it's not windy, so the surface is very still.
Yeah, so it's if anything we can count as a blessing is that it didn't happen over the see that bridge right in the background there on the highway. That was really busy earlier. What if it had taken place right there? Or what if the building's not too far in the background or something?
The wind conditions that you can see, the river surface is very still. So that is making it easier to do the grueling job.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing. At least the stillness will help them see things, because waves will hide stuff.
The water is cold. And
growing up on the river, I know how that is. So.
People who were on these aircraft have drifted from.
I just know how hard it is to see things in the water at times due to the reflections and the rippling and everything in the water does to your eyes.
Thank you so much, Bob.
Let's see, anything in the background? No, they're just showing the collision in the background. If you're on got Fox News, guys, go there. I can't call it up here; it won't let me.
Hoping we find some survivors, although the picture is not looking so positive at this hour. But again, this is a rescue mission.
So yeah.
Kenneth, earlier we were speaking to some witnesses, because you can imagine the people, that saw this in the air. I spoke to a man who had a panoramic view from his apartment, and he said he heard the crash. It felt and it shook his building. It felt like a war zone crash that he heard, and then he sees the plumes of smoke. Doesn't know.
Yeah, they're not showing anything different.
So imagine just the people who witnessed this.
Nope, they're not showing anything different. Oh.
Now knowing what this
Fox
is,
just,
Representative
I went back to the reporter, sorry.
So that he landed at DC.
It's actually electronic security,
Just a few minutes before.
Oh, so you'd be like, what was it, Gene Hackman in Enemy of the State. You'd be Gene Hackman. You got your little Faraday cage built up and nobody can spy on you, and you got your El Camino hidden downstairs. You're going to save Will Smith's life.
We have not, and again, this is 2:03 a.m. if you're just joining us, which I'm pretty sure there are people who've been with us for hours now, hanging on to learn any new information possible after this crash happened. around 8:30 last.
All right, everybody. I think I'm going to probably hop off here. I got breathing treatments to do. I got a busy day tomorrow, including doing some work on here. I got maybe do something on exploring CF. Ooh, scrambling communications. Very nice, Jim. Thank you, Jim Patterson. Thank you, Christina Macy. If anybody else was here in the background, thank you very much for stopping by. And I hope everybody prays like hell for the families of everybody involved and for these first responders for out there kicking butt, trying their best to save somebody. And you know what? I'd like a little. I know my chances here. I understand. I'm pissing up wind here, but I would really hope we can find a survivor. I give us one bright, tiny little spark out of this. Give us something. Give us one person. If we can't have a person, I'll take somebody's beloved family animal that survived in the hold or something. Just give us something to go amazing. Thank you. Something. Not going to make up for all these people being lost, for lives. I mean, this isn't just the people on these aircraft. This is going to decimate families. So you take upwards of 67 people in total. Then you add all the peripheral family. We're talking probably a couple hundred people or more going to be totally beat up by this. But it would be nice if we had at least a tiny glimmer or spark. Something to say, wow, amazing, or something out of this. I don't know. I'm not voicing it right, I'm sure. But yeah. All right, everybody. I am going to scooch out of here. Sorry about any of the technical issues I was having. Once again, I'm just me, my little old self doing this stuff. So I try, and sometimes if I come in quick, I don't quite get everything done. I think I will mute this or turn it down even lower. There. And I'm going to get ready to get out of here, but hey, everybody, thanks for stopping in. Say prayers, well wishes. Keep your eye out, because I don't know. I keep trying to get out, but I just don't. There always feels like there's one more thing you should say in a tragedy like this. One more word that might help. One more something. Jim, I will say, before I go, I will have to give you once again condolences on loss of Shirley. I am very sorry that you lost her, but I feel a little bit of consolation, though, that you had 15 gorgeous years by the sounds of it. The fact that it hurts so much, Jim, says so much about Shirley. Dogs and cats are bred to be. In fact, my dog is now having a nightmare behind me as I hear him squeaking. It's my big dog. But it's crazy how they get into our souls. There's a reason dogs and cats are our companions. They've been bred to be part of our lives. They've been parts of our lives for thousands of years. We are linked. There's nothing you can do about it. We are linked. But Jim, I feel for you, my friend. Good night, everybody. Stay safe. Send prayers. And I will talk to you later, and hopefully something a little more annoying yet amusing, or you amusing yet annoying, and not something just tragic. Have a good night, everybody.